Hey there, Coach Devin here. What you want versus what you need. That's what we're going to talk about when it comes to fitness. What do you want? What do you need? What do you like to do? Those are the things we're going to talk about. Before we get going, please click the like and subscribe down below, and please share this with your friends. The reason I do these videos is because I've been a trainer for 27 years now. I own a gym, and my goal is to be able to reach out and help people not make the stupid mistakes I made over the years, and help other people get more fit. This is my passion. This is what I love to do. I like to help people. I'm never going to get rich as a trainer, but you know what? Or a gym owner for that matter. But you know what? It's my hope that I can get out there and help some other people get fit, change their lives, feel better, because I feel passionately about this. I love everything about fitness. All right, so what you like versus what you need. I was having a conversation with my friend Cameron today, and Cameron was saying, you should do this, this, and this in the gym. And I was like, well, that's not a bad idea, but it is a question of how reasonable is that? Is that actually going to help the clients? And he said, well, you got to think about it, Devin. Not everybody wants to get more fit. They just want to come to the gym. And I'm like, well, I think everybody wants to get fit. And, you know, we went back and forth a little bit. And one of the things Cameron was saying was lots of people have gym memberships. And for them, it's not about going to the gym necessarily. They want to be able to go to the gym, and then go home and eat some pizza if they want to at night. And I was like, that's a good point. And it got me thinking. And because as a trainer, and for me as a gym owner, I spend a lot of time trying to balance what people want versus what people need. Lots of times people will want to do cardio all day, or somebody wants to lift weights all day, or they like the stuff you like is the easy stuff, right? I mean, the stuff I like to do. Super simple. I enjoy it. And quite often people will see things online and they're like, yeah, that's what I want to do. Okay, well, that's what you want, right? But the question does come down, is that in line with the goals that you have? Is that going to progress you in the direction that you want to go? Is it going to help you any, or is that just you doing something funky because you saw it online and that looks pretty cool? Nothing wrong with that. Doing some fun stuff, 100%. I think everybody should do some fun things. However, it does beg the question, because as a trainer, we spend a lot of time, and I spend a lot of time as a gym owner figuring out what my clients are looking for. What are you trying to do? What's your goal? And then saying, okay, now I got the goal, how can I help you get to that goal? The problem we run into, though, becomes because people want to do things that take them away from their goal. So let's talk about examples of that. Sometimes people say, you know what, I want to lose weight. And I'm like, well, that's cool. That's a great goal. That's nothing wrong with that. There's no bad goals in fitness. If you want to get outside of, something ridiculous, like, I want to gain and get fat, but I don't think that's a normal goal for anybody. So there's no bad goals in fitness for the most part. But most of the time people say, I want to get leaner or whatever. I had a client come in a couple weeks ago, and she said, I would like to, lose weight. She's already lost some weight. She's done a really good job. She wants to lose more, take it to the next level. I'm like, that's a great idea. Great. And she started running too. And she said, I love running. I said, that's good. Running is not a bad thing. Nothing wrong with running. But she's like, I want to run a half marathon. I'm like, okay. So what your goal is to which? Lose the weight or run the half marathon? And she's like, I hadn't really thought about that. I think the goal is to lose weight. I'm like, okay, so there's nothing wrong with running, and I will never rip running. But the goal of running a half marathon may not take you in the direction that will help you lose the weight. And she said, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, okay, well, think about it this way. Lots of people who do not look, quote unquote, fit, can run marathons and half marathons. You'll see that if you look at the beginning of a marathon or a half marathon race, lots of people don't look like they could run super well, but they're good runners. You know why? Because they train to run. They're good at running. Now, running, yes, it can help you lose some weight. Is it going to get you lean guaranteed? No. Because running is a cardiovascular exercise. To get lean, you do need to gain some muscle. You need to do some resistance. You need both. You need cardiovascular and you need resistance. Resistance training is lifting weights. So the question does come down to what's the main goal? What are you looking for? Now, this client, she wanted to lose weight. So she's like, okay, well, I don't have to run the half marathon yet. And I said, you know what? You can run the half marathon at some point, and you can run it in the future, and it'll be easier too when you're lighter, but you don't have to do it right now. And this is a perfect example of it, but it really comes down to the question of what are your goals and what are you doing? And as a gym owner, I spend a lot of time juggling that. It's a tough one because a lot of people want something, they want to do one thing, but the thing they want to do is not helping them get where they want to go. And that's tough because I feel a certain moral responsibility to do a good job for people. I feel a moral responsibility to make sure people are getting where they're going, that they get their money's worth. There's nothing I hate worse in fitness where somebody's just taking your money and see you later. That's stuff I don't like. To me, our clientele come in the gym because they want certain things, and I want to provide them the best possible service every single time and help them reach all your goals. If your goal is to lose weight, great. If your goal is abs, great. If your goal is to get stronger, great. Let's go do that. Let's make sure we work at that. Let's get you to your goal. That has always been my plan. That's always, as a trainer, that's what I like to do. I want to help people progress and get better. And as a gym owner, I want to do the same thing. But it does come down to, it's a bit of a challenge because people sometimes are resistant. Sometimes they don't want to do the things that are going to progress them in the right direction. They want to do the things that are cool. It's like somebody doing spin every day, and they're like, I'm going to do spin, and I want abs. Well, okay, great. Spin is good for cardio, 100%. Nothing wrong with spin. I would never rip spin. However, you need to lift some weights. Or someone who walks through the door and says, I want to lift weights all day, but I want abs. Okay, that's great. You need some cardio. It's just a fact. Listen, I have managed to stay fairly fit my whole life. I do that with a combination of weights and cardio. And all the time I am working towards specific goals. A few years ago, I ran a lot. When I ran a lot, I dropped weight on purpose because I know it's easier to run lighter. So I was like, okay, you know what? If I'm 212, 215 pounds, I can run faster. Feel better when I'm lighter, so I'm going to do that. Now, don't run as much. My back bothers me a little bit. I had a staph infection during the shutdown for COVID in my back, in this discs in the vertebrae in my back, and it basically has kept me from running. I've sort of started a little bit, but not a lot. So, I got away from that because I knew I couldn't do it. So I said, okay, my new goal is going to be aesthetics. I'm going to try to get bigger and stronger. That's what I've done. I'm 238, 241, somewhere in there now. That's a lot heavier, harder to run at that weight. So you're always working toward a goal. You always have to be working toward a goal. And you should think about your goals on a regular basis. What's your goal? Why are you doing it? What are you trying to achieve? It comes right down to that. What is the goal? If your goal is to be a power lifter, don't lift lightweight. Because it's not going to help you. Cardio all day for a power lifter, not the best thing. Some cardio, obviously important. You want your heart to be strong. It's super. You don't want to die. Your heart is the most important muscle in your body, but you know what? You have to get stronger. That's your goal. If you want to get leaner, then you don't power lift. Why? Because powerlifting is not about getting leaner. Powerlifting is about lifting heavy weights. Nothing wrong with lifting heavy weights, but it doesn't line up. So just think about, and the goal it comes down to, think about what your goal is, what you're going to do with that, how are you going to get there, and let's line those things up. And for me, when it comes down to what I talked about with my friend, in classes, I have to give clients a little bit of what they want. They want to do, high intensity stuff all the time. Well, that's not always great. You need to lift some weights too, but a little bit of a both is always important. And that's what we try to do. We try to give them the best of both worlds. We built some classes and we have a system on how we do classes to make sure that people they make sure they work their posterior chain, working their back and their hamstrings and their glutes. That's important. Also make sure they're working their core. That's important. We can't blow off core. We can't just be doing push-ups and burpees and squats all day. It's not helpful. You want to work the entire body in the best possible way. And it is a bit of a challenge. It is always going to be a bit of a challenge. But remember, you're working towards specific goals. And sometimes you got to do the things that you don't love. That's a fact. You always have to do the things you don't love. It's like cleaning your house. You don't love doing it, but you have to do it. It's just the way life is. It's like being in a relationship. You don't always get to do the fun stuff. You get to do the fun stuff, and there's some hard things that go along with it. Raising children is a perfect example. Love my children. However, there's sometimes you have to discipline them. That sucks. It's one of those things, guys. So do the things that get you to your goal best. Those are the things that are important, and work toward those. If you have comments, questions, things you want me to talk about, write them up down below. I'd love to hear from you. I do this, like I said, because I enjoy helping people, and this is my favorite thing. Fitness is my favorite thing. So anything I can do to help, I love. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please share this with your friends, because you know what? Just trying to help people get more fit. Have yourself an amazing day, everybody. Don't fight the awesome.